The difference between those who achieve greatness and those who settle for mediocrity lies in a simple truth: the ability to do what others are not willing to do. If you are here now listening to this, it's because something inside you refuses to accept an ordinary life. You are not like most people who are content with mediocre results. And here is the crucial point. There is a specific neurological method that can completely reset your mindset in just 5 minutes. Today you will finally understand why you have been feeling stuck and discover the exact protocol that will break these barriers once and for all. You don't need motivation. Motivation is a consequence of action, not your catalyst. What you need is to discover the specific neurological system that separates the extraordinary from the ordinary. And in the next few minutes, you will completely master this system. 1. The recognition of vulnerability. Let's be honest about something no one wants to admit. Most people live in a comfort zone disguised as progress. It's like a car stuck in traffic with the engine running. There's movement around, noise, a sense of activity, but you're not going anywhere. They wake up every day believing they are doing something meaningful, but by the end of the month, the year, their life, they discover they were just busy, not productive. The fear of mediocrity is not just a feeling, it's a biological indicator that your brain recognizes unexplored potential. Henry Ford revolutionized the automotive industry, despite facing ridicule and doubt. When he proposed the assembly line, industry experts said it was impossible. Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times before perfecting the light bulb, and critics called him a fool. Steve Jobs was fired from his own company, yet returned to create the iPhone. And just like they overcame their obstacles, you can overcome yours. Intro end. But first, you need to recognize an uncomfortable truth. Your brain has been programmed to keep you in mediocrity. This programming is not a defect. It's a survival mechanism that worked perfectly when our ancestors needed to conserve energy for life or death situations. Today, that same system is sabotaging your ability to grow. 2. The identification of self-sabotage patterns. There's a voice inside your mind that whispers softly that you should give up on your path. Doubt, fear, and exhaustion may seem like natural feelings, but they are actually signs that you are approaching a real growth zone. Your subconscious cannot distinguish between imagined scenarios and real experiences, and that is exactly what we will use to our advantage. Observe the patterns. Every time you're about to take a significant step, excuses arise. It's not the right time, I need to prepare more, I'll start on Monday. These are not your thoughts. They are old programs trying to maintain the status quo. However, here's the crucial point that few discover. Great entrepreneurs, inventors, and visionaries who transformed our world didn't choose the easy path. They developed the ability to recognize these patterns and act despite them. Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper for lacking imagination and faced multiple business failures before building his entertainment empire. Many considered him an unrealistic dreamer, and just like he overcame his own limiting programs, you can overcome yours. Clarity becomes your compass for taking action. 3. The mental reset protocol. Here's where most people fail. They try to combat negative thoughts with positive thoughts. This is like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. The more you throw positive thinking on top of doubt, the more it inflames. What works is a specific reset protocol that reprograms your neural patterns in real time. First, gain clarity. Precisely define what you want. Success doesn't come to those who merely wish. It comes to those who declare with absolute precision. When you have clarity, write it down. Your goals must be as precise as a plan because clarity feeds intention, and intention properly directed becomes the most powerful force the world has ever known. Before any challenge, declare, I can. This is not an empty affirmation. It is an active reprogramming of your nervous system. Your brain cannot distinguish between a lived experience and an experience visualized with sufficient intensity. When you declare I can with conviction, you are creating a new neural pattern that replaces the old programming of doubt. However, here's the crucial point that few understand. Action is the bridge between desire and reality. It's not enough to just visualize or declare. You must move physically towards your goal, even if it is the smallest possible step. 4. The creation of irreversible momentum. Movement generates motivation, not the other way around. Each small action you take towards your goal creates a positive feedback cycle in your brain. Dopamine is released not only when you achieve the result, but at every small progress along the way. This means you can literally hack your internal reward system. Instead of waiting for the big victory to feel good, you program small daily victories that keep your brain engaged and motivated. Neuroplasticity studies show that our brain continues creating new neural connections throughout our entire life. But here's the crucial point that few discover. These connections form more quickly when you combine physical action with intense visualization. Your brain is like a muscle that adapts to the training you give it. If you only visualize without acting, it's like doing mental exercise without weights, minimal results. If you only act without visualizing, it's like lifting weights with poor form, wasted effort. But when you combine both, you create a powerful synergy. Imagine yourself not just reaching your goal, but living the physical sensations of success. Feel the texture of victory. Hear the sounds of the environment when you achieve it. See the colors and details of the moment. Your subconscious can't distinguish between this visualized experience and reality. It begins working to make this vision a reality. 5. The installation of the self-discipline system. Discipline isn't a natural talent. It's a system that can be installed in anyone willing to follow the right protocol. A mind disciplined and properly directed becomes the most powerful force the world has ever known. The first component of this system is controlling internal dialogue. Every successful person has developed the ability to consciously direct their thoughts. It's not about eliminating negative thoughts. It's about quickly recognizing them and redirecting them toward more useful patterns. The second component is creating unbreakable rituals. Think of rituals as the foundations of a skyscraper, invisible to those passing by, but absolutely essential for supporting the entire structure. No matter how you feel, no matter what external circumstances arise, your fundamental rituals are non-negotiable. These rituals become anchors that keep you on the path, even when everything around you seems chaotic. Remember, your moment is now. Not tomorrow, not next Monday, not when conditions are perfect. Perfect conditions are an illusion your brain uses to keep you in your comfort zone. What you've just learned are the fundamentals of a mental reset that works. You've discovered why your brain was programmed for mediocrity, identified patterns of self-sabotage, implemented the reset protocol, created irreversible momentum, and installed the basic self-discipline system. But here's the truth. The method I just shared works, but there's a specific neurological sequence that the most successful people use to amplify these results tenfold. And what I'm about to reveal has completely changed how I understand human potential. It's a technique that combines behavioral science with advanced psychological strategies, and in the next few minutes, you'll discover exactly how to apply it in your life. The question isn't whether you have the capacity for this. You've already proven that by getting this far. The question is, what actions will you take today to implement what you've learned? And so we arrive at the crucial moment. You've discovered that your mind operates in two distinct systems, but now I will reveal the missing piece, the exact method that transforms this understanding into real power. For years, I've studied the neurological patterns of extraordinary people, from entrepreneurs who built empires to elite athletes who break world records. And I discovered something fascinating. They all master a specific mental reset technique that sets them apart from the crowd. Michael Jordan, before each crucial free throw, followed an identical 5-second mental ritual. Kobe Bryant had specific visualization techniques before every game. Steve Jobs practiced mental clarity techniques before his most important presentations. These weren't innate talents. They were systems developed through deliberate practice. Imagine for a moment that you possess a neurological switch, a reset button that you can activate in just 5 minutes, completely transforming your mental state and your ability to focus. This isn't science fiction. It's applied neuroplasticity. Science has already proven that our brain is like a muscle that constantly adapts to the stimulation it receives. But here's the crucial point that most ignore. You can deliberately direct this adaptation. You can train your mind to enter high-performance states on command. I will now share with you the 5-minute brain reset technique. This method combines neuroscience, cognitive psychology, and mental optimization techniques that took decades to develop. 1. Conscious respiratory activation. The first 60 seconds are dedicated to what I call reset breathing. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and breathe following this exact pattern. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold your breath for 4 seconds. Exhale for 6 seconds. Repeat this cycle 5 times. Why does it work? This technique activates the parasympathetic nervous system, immediately reducing cortisol levels and preparing your brain for high concentration states. It's the same pattern used by Navy SEALs, fighter pilots, and elite surgeons before critical procedures. 2. Strategic sensory anchoring. In the second minute, we'll program your focus system. Keep your eyes closed and visualize a golden light point in the center of your forehead. Concentrate all your attention on this point for a full 60 seconds. When your mind wanders, and it will wander, simply bring your focus back to the golden light. Each time you redirect your attention, you're strengthening your attentional control neural networks. It's literally like doing push-ups for your concentration muscle. 3. Mental state reprogramming. Now we arrive at the third minute, the most powerful of all. Maintain the visualization of the golden light and add a specific affirmation. Mentally repeat, "My mind is clear, focused, and completely present." Say this 10 times, synchronizing with your breath. This isn't superficial self-help. It's applied neuro-linguistic programming. When you combine visualization with verbal affirmation, you are activating multiple brain regions simultaneously, creating stronger and more lasting neural pathways. 4. Dynamic body integration. In the fourth minute, maintain the visualization but slowly open your eyes. Now move your fingers slowly, then your hands, then your arms. Feel each movement with total awareness. This body-mind integration is crucial. You're training your nervous system to maintain focus, even while in motion. It's the difference between passive meditation and active performance. 5. Directed purpose activation. The last minute is where the magic happens. Define a specific intention for the next 30 minutes. Not something vague like being productive, but something precise. I will focus completely on the X project presentation. Or, I will study Chapter 5 with total attention. Visualize yourself executing that task with perfect concentration. See yourself achieving exceptional results. Feel the satisfaction of work well done. You're programming your brain for success before you even begin. Thomas Edison faced more than 1,000 failed attempts before perfecting the electric lamp. Many considered him obsessed and stubborn. But he developed a specific mental reset technique. Before his most productive invention sessions, he would spend a few minutes in focused meditation, holding metal spheres in his hands. When he relaxed too much and the spheres fell, he knew he had reached the ideal mental state for creating. And just like Edison transformed his weaknesses into discoveries, you can transform your mental resistance into strength. Einstein also had his focus rituals. He would play violin for a few minutes before his most important theoretical work, preparing his mind for revolutionary insights. Bill Gates takes think weeks, isolated periods for deep focus and strategic thinking. However, here's the secret that separates this technique from simple relaxation exercises. You're creating a conditioned neurological pattern. After 2 weeks of daily practice, your brain will automatically enter a high-performance state whenever you start the breathing sequence. It's like training an Olympic athlete. At first, each movement requires conscious effort, but with consistent repetition, the body develops muscle memory. The same happens with your mind. You're creating neural memory for states of excellence. Neuroplasticity is your most powerful ally. Each time you practice this technique, you're literally rewriting your brain architecture. You're becoming someone who naturally operates at superior levels of concentration and mental clarity. Think about it, 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes separate you from a completely transformed mental state. 5 minutes that can determine whether you'll have a mediocre or extraordinary day. Most people waste more time than this checking meaningless messages. But now you have something they don't. A scientifically grounded method to optimize your greatest asset, your mind. You have just received exactly what I promised at the beginning, a complete understanding of why your mind was stuck and the specific 5-minute neurological method to break these barriers. It's no longer theory, it's a proven system that's now in your hands. But here's the crucial point that many miss. Knowledge without application is merely intellectual entertainment. You can watch hundreds of videos about mental techniques, read dozens of books about productivity, but none of this matters if you don't implement. And here's something that will surprise you. The difference between those who apply and those who merely consume comes down to a decision made in the next 30 seconds. The difference between extraordinary people and ordinary people is not in what they know. Warren Buffett faced decades of criticism for his outdated investment strategies. Many Wall Street experts considered him obsolete. But he developed specific techniques to maintain absolute focus for hours, entering deep concentration states whenever he analyzes complex investments. Oprah Winfrey was told she was unfit for television early in her career, yet she built a media empire through focused determination. And just like they ignored the critics and built their success, you can ignore the voices that say you can't. Steve Jobs was famous for his mental clarity rituals. Before his most important presentations, he practiced specific mental preparation techniques that put him in an ideal performance state. These are not innate talents. They are skills developed through deliberate practice and specific methods like the one you just learned. The question is not whether this technique works. Science has already confirmed its effectiveness. The question is, will you implement it? Will you be one of the few people who transforms knowledge into action? Here's an uncomfortable truth. Most people who watch this video will never practice this technique even once. They'll watch, feel inspired for a few minutes, and then return to the same mental patterns that keep them trapped in mediocrity. Here it's like buying a gym membership and never going. The intention exists, but the action does not. But here's the crucial point. You are different. You've made it this far because there's something in you that seeks excellence. There's a part of you that refuses to accept mediocre results. Right now, at this very moment, you face a crucial choice. You can continue operating on mental autopilot, letting random thoughts and distractions control your productive capacity, or you can take total control over your mental state. This technique is not just about concentration. It's about self-determination. It's about becoming the conscious architect of your own mental experience. When you master your mind, you master your life. Your mind is like the steering wheel of your life. A small adjustment in direction can completely change your destination. When you control your focus, you control your results. When you deliberately direct your attention, you become unstoppable. Remember, your moment is now. In the next 5 minutes, yes, just 5 minutes, you can implement this technique and experience an immediate transformation. You can finish this video not just with new knowledge, but with a completely transformed mindset. Imagine what your life would be like if you could access deep focus states whenever you need them. Imagine the projects you would complete, the goals you would achieve, the person you would become. But here's what changes everything. It's no longer a question of if you can achieve your goals. With an optimized mind, it becomes a question of when. What actions will you take today to implement what you've learned? So here's my personal challenge to you. Before doing anything else today, practice this technique just once. 5 minutes. Not for me, but to prove to yourself that you're truly committed to your own transformation. Here's how you'll know it worked. Within 30 minutes of practicing, pay attention to your ability to focus. You'll notice a mental clarity you haven't experienced in ages. When this happens, and it will happen, come back here and leave a comment sharing exactly what you felt. Join the community of people who don't just consume content but actually implement it and transform their lives. We want to hear your specific experience with the technique. What you do in the next 5 minutes will determine whether you stay where you are or evolve into who you're truly meant to be. Remember, your moment is now. Not tomorrow, not next Monday. Right now. Your mental transformation begins with a single 5-minute session. You can start the moment this video ends. You've made it this far because something in you refuses to accept mediocrity. The same force that brought you to this moment is the same one that will lead you to practice. The choice is yours. The power is in your hands. And the optimized mind you desire is just 5 minutes away.